Wilbur Ross articulating his plan to put a 20% tariff on any lumber coming into the United States of America from Canada. His thinking on this is that they are effectively dumping this lumber onto U.S. markets. I'm here with David Nelson, as well as Mercedes Schlapp, and I believe Jose Aristimuno is still with us as well. This is perhaps an example of what is to come, David, here. In other words, this is a president who has campaigned on the premise that we need fairer trade agreements, that what's happening right now is not right with China, in this case with Canada and the lumber situation, and he has put Wilbur Ross in charge of trying to rectify this. Is this perhaps a warning?
It is a warning, and I think it's pretty clear that the administration wanted to get Wilbur out there to put the world on notice. There's a new sheriff in town. The numbers are relatively small when we're talking about this. We're talking about
he's only going to make, what, $1 billion?
$1 billion. It's really chump change. So obviously there's a bigger message here, and it's going to translate not just to the northern border, the southern border, but probably more importantly China, because here U.S. businesses have a real problem trying to get access to the Chinese consumer, because over there you have to partner with a Chinese company. Generally, you have to hand over a lot of your intellectual property, and somewhere down the road, they say, hasta mañana, we don't need you.
Right, and then they take the intellectual property and off they go.
And they move on.
And we've got to start playing hardball with them. You know, I want to point out, Jose, Canada is our actually number two trading partner. It used to be our #1 trading partner. China has since overtaken it as of 2015. So here it is, our #1 trading partner. What is this going to do to our relationship with Canada, do you think, overall?
Sure. Well, look, I think it's damaging. I think it's the wrong approach. We ought to remember that because of this. Look,
I want to jump in, Jose, because you know you're a guy who sticks up for unions.
Wait.
But he's trying to stick up for American lumber workers here.
Is that why a majority of home building in the United States are going to go up? Now, to buy a house in America is going to be more expensive because of this. That's not good for the American people.
I would point out, and by the way, I just built a home. Lumber is actually not the biggest cost. You know, you're going to pay a whole lot more for the refrigerator and for the stove and all and the labor.
Yeah.
Specifically the labor than you are the actual lumber. I'd also add in, Jose, you know, you get a little bit of a discount given the strength of the dollar versus the loonie. But, you know, as Wilbur Ross said, this is, it's really in the minutia. In other words, yes, lumber prices will go up a bit, but not enough to really be destabilizing to the U.S. housing market. Jose.
That's not true. That's not true. We know it's going to go. The prices of homes in America are going to go up by at least $1,000, and that's just fact.
You're seeing a robust. You're saying, Jose, you're saying this is about. Let me explain. This is about the market, right? Right now, what we're seeing is a very robust housing market. I think what we're dealing with Canada is primarily about unfair practices that have been in display from Canada for years. It was a matter for the United States to take action. It's exactly what Wilbur Ross explained. They're the ones that are protectionist. It's like Japan and other nations that they take care of themselves, and it was time for the United States to take some action. So I think it was the right approach coming from the Trump administration, taking a very clear message that we're going to be protecting American interests, and these unfair practices are unacceptable from other nations.
Go ahead, David.
You know, this is where the left rhetoric really runs off the table here. And, you know, you're talking about, it's not about making America better. It's about the other side losing, and that's what Jose is talking about. Trying to push that type of rhetoric. Talking about $1,000 increase on a $300,000 home. Are you kidding me? That's peanuts.
Well, and not to mention what it actually does for the U.S. lumber industry, which then translates into more jobs and better, you know, overall jobs.
It's not just about lumber. It's about our entire economy. China, Mexico, the rest of the.
Actually, as you said, very small. I mean, perhaps in some ways you could think of this as one big giant PR stuff, that you're making it clear to China, you guys have got to start playing fair or else.
And all of these countries are talking the rhetoric of free trade, but they don't practice it. We're the ones who practice it. They don't practice it.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that's what Wilbur was saying when it comes to Canada, for sure. Anyway, new sheriff in town for sure, and all these trade agreements, including NAFTA, are going to be up for negotiation, so we're watching all of it for you every day right here on the Intel Report. Thank you, David, Mercedes, and Jose. Market way up.